Okay, so I'm kind of freaking out, just a little bit, over something kind of stupid, but I'm really nervous right now because I have challenged myself to shoot this video in one take without edits and be completely authentic and real, and that kind of freaks me out. And I keep having to tell myself over and over, I am enough, I can do this. And the reason I'm fighting that, and that's become such an issue, is because I've got this story that I must plan everything to a T, and that it's got to be perfect, I have to be perfect. And it's a story that I really identify as who I am. I'm a planner, obsessive planner. I was probably a travel agent in another life. I'd be a really good wedding planner. I plan trips a year in advance. It's what I do. And so I've taken this story and I've totally just taken it on as part of my identity. Shauna is a planner. And yet that doesn't give me much room to be spontaneous and fun and free, which I want to be more of. And so I've challenged myself to do this video in one take without much planning, although that's not exactly true. I've not rehearsed this in the shower in my head a million times, so even when I'm supposed to do this off the cuff, I've thought about it over and over and over again. Yes, I am the planner, but I'm also going to challenge myself to be free and spontaneous and see what comes when I courageously go against this story that I have about myself. So here you go. It's probably going to be messy, and I might use some foul language because I do cuss a lot, so if I do that, just be prepared. And the lighting kind of sucks. I wish I didn't have so much wrinkles and, bags under my eyes, but whatever, that's what it is. No amount of planning, I couldn't fix that, so that's what it is. So, the reason I wanted to do this, for one, actually for a couple of different reasons, was because I wanted to, one, courageously step out of this story I have about myself, of having to plan it all out and be perfect. I also am a part of this great group, kind of a courage-a-thon. So I was inspired to kind of step out of my comfort zone and do this. I've also done a couple of videos, just a few, and they take me forever because I am a perfectionist and I retake and retake and retake and edit and edit and edit to get it just right, and then, the end product, kind of gets across what I wanted to get across, but then I look at it and it's not really me, not fully, and that just didn't feel right. I am, in the work that I do as a birth doula and prenatal coaching, I am asking women all the time to be vulnerable and be vulnerable with me, and how can I do that if I can't be vulnerable and real and totally not perfect with you? So that's another reason why I wanted to challenge myself and just let that all go for a change. And this may spark something in you. This actually just kind of became the topic this week for this video, is what story do you have about yourself that you have taken on as part of your identity and part of just who you are, and don't even question it anymore. Shauna is a planner. Everybody knows that. When we go on a girls' trip, or my husband, needs to plan something, like, everyone just assumes that I'm going to do it because I do, because I actually really love to plan. It is known about me. But the question becomes, what came first, my story or the proof that this is who I am? And this came up again for me the other night, Sunday. I had a meeting with a new couple, potential new birth client for later this year. And they're really early on in their pregnancy. And one thing that the new mama said to me was that she is a baby when it comes to pain. So I asked her to start to really research and question that story. I am a baby when it comes to pain. And when I asked her that, she was like, oh yeah, no, I know, I am. I'm a total wuss when it comes to pain. And I totally believe her. I believe that she is, except here's the thing. Is she a baby when it comes to pain because she has this story? And stories lead to truth in our lives. Stories lead to beliefs, beliefs lead to actions. So what if we question that? What if the proof that we think we have about who we are, I'm a baby when it comes to pain because I freak out every time I'm in pain. Well, of course you do, because you already have this story. And so every time you encounter something that challenges it, that slams up against it, you've got your story already set. You're going to be a baby to pain. You are going to fulfill that story because you've already got it. And that becomes this weird cycle of proof to the story. But which came first? Is the story causing the proof? And could you turn it around? Could you reprove it in a different way and have space around your story? Maybe your story isn't going to go away. I'm a planner. It's what I do, and I actually like that about myself. I'm not going to get rid of it. But I also don't want to be slammed into this box of what that is. I want to be spontaneous. I want to be courageously free. So by doing this, even though a weird part of me is almost on the verge of tears talking about this, by doing this, I am proving to myself that I don't have to plan it. And I'll tell you, this isn't all planned, because in all the million takes I did in my head about what I was going to say spontaneously, none of this was it. So I'm doing it. I'm totally doing it. And the more I practice this, and I'm aware of it, and step outside of the story I have about myself, the more I create room around that story. And then there's freedom and spaciousness and possibility. So I ask you, what story do you have that you might courageously challenge this week? Or anytime. If your story is, I'm a real baby when it comes to pain. Well, as doula, of course, I can give you some tips on how to manage pain and relax and flow through the sensations that you're feeling. And you could take some of those exercises and play around with it the next time you smash your finger in the door or get a headache or whatever it is, and see how you can work with different tools and step beyond that story to create new proof of what is possible for you. That's just one example. I would love it if you left a comment below about a story that you feel inspired to challenge and how you're going to do that. And that's kind of scary and vulnerable, and I totally get that. I seriously, I could cry right now if I wanted to. it's scary to step out of the story of who we are. And how silly to become so emotional about shooting a video without takes and being vulnerable. But at the same time, I know it's not silly, because being courageously vulnerable is hard work. But I'm doing it. You can do it. And so I ask you again, what story can you start to rewrite? Can you give some space to? Challenge it, question it. Force yourself to go against it so you have proof that you are not stuck in that box. You are not stuck according to that storyline. You are more than that. You are infinite possibility. We are infinite possibility. Thank you. Please be kind. Actually, please be kind to yourself. Because when I said please be kind, honestly, that was directed at myself. First directed at you, like, please don't judge this video, but I know you're not going to. It's me who's going to judge it, because I have the issue with being perfect. So, I am enough. I did do this. And this is pretty awesome. Good luck in challenging your story this week. Please leave a message below and tell me what it's all about. I'd love to support you and cheer you on. And thank you for holding space for me to do this. I will see you next time.